Hi, I'm Jeff Erickson with Open World Live here at the UnConference, where attendees at Open World can sign up to take or to give a class. We're going to be talking to some of those leaders. I am here at the UnConference with Jonathan Lewis, who just gave a very well-attended session on something that must have been interesting to people. And what was that?
How to be an Oracle expert. It's a slightly tongue-in-cheek title, obviously, and slightly tongue-in-cheek presentation, in fact, but really a good guideline, I hope, to people to realize that you don't have to do amazingly difficult things to become very well informed about how Oracle is working.
For example?
Well, a point I suggested was that really, in many ways, Oracle hasn't changed astonishingly since about Oracle 6. Now, this, of course, isn't going to sound very, very good to the marketing system, but there is a kernel of activity that goes on inside Oracle, which was built in and built brilliantly in Oracle 6. And to a very large extent, most of what goes on around Oracle is taking advantage of that kernel. And whatever sorts of problems you're likely to see, a huge fraction of them can be covered, can be investigated, interpreted on the basis of understanding that kernel of activity, which is essentially we fire an SQL to the database, we do some work in the database, we have network traffic, we have disk traffic, we generate undo and redo, and that's about it. And the competition for resources, the activity that goes on as we interpret a statement or as we try and find the right data, the nature of the work that you do is always the same sort of thing. Whether it's just a simple SQL statement or it's some wonderful extra feature that Oracle has added on, such as advanced queuing perhaps, or change data capture, which uses that kernel of activity in order to produce a more sophisticated and more powerful add-on to Oracle.
So what kind of people came to your session this morning? There were a lot of them.
I think to a large extent we were talking to DBAs, right? The people responsible for making the databases respond fast enough. Okay.
And so this was an UnConference session. How did you let folks know that you had an UnConference session coming up?
Well, there's a board just at the end of the corridor there which has got a few yellow stickies on it, which are topics that got voted in through, I think, Oracle Mix, and then a few gaps which had been left for people like me to come along and just say, grab a sticky, write something on it and put it up on the board. And yesterday when I got here, I just happened to see there was a slot at 10 o'clock this morning. Didn't quite realize I was going to be competing with Charles Phillips at the time, and just stuck my name up and said, how to be an expert. And obviously it attracted enough people to make it worth doing.
Well, it certainly did. Jonathan Lewis, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.